Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, how's my reading going so far this year? I'm doing the Quarter-Year Crisis book tag. So for me, this tag has definitely become part of my reading year on Booktube, if you like. I think I've done it every year that I've been on Booktube. And it's just a fun tag to kind of take stock as we get to the end of the first quarter of the year, just to reflect back on, the reading I've done so far this year, what would be my favourites, what would be my least favourites, and things like that. So there are a few different questions. It was originally created by the channel Roisin's Reading a few years ago now. I think it's been going for a few years. I think it's about 10 questions, so let me go through those with you now. So the first question is, how many books have you read so far this year? So I just checked for the first 3 months of this year, so not counting April to date. So for the first 3 months of the year, I had read 59 books. So reading, I feel like deliberately trying to slow my reading down a little bit this year, not putting so much pressure on myself to have a really stacked TBR each month, as I've said before, and that does seem to be working. I'm really enjoying my reading this year, and I'm not feeling quite so much pressure. Have you found a book? Have you already found the book you think might be a 2024 favourite? So I have. That book is Edith's Diary by Patricia Highsmith. I thought this was just fantastic. I'm really enjoying reading Patricia Highsmith. Working through all of her books, which I've been doing since the beginning of last year. This is a standout from her bibliography. I mean, her books are always good. This one was phenomenally good. Just a really thoughtful, moving book about life and about how life can be painful, basically. Really, really excellent. If not, what's the best book you've read so far this year? So I thought I would just talk quickly about some other books I've read so far this year that I've really, really enjoyed. And the ones that probably stand out for me are the Osgood trilogy by Cooper S. Beckett. So I did a video about these on the channel, but just a really fun series of horror books about this woman, Prudence Osgood, who's like a spectral investigator, I think is her title, who investigates spooky goings on. Just really fun, really nice, inclusive books, really creepy at times, quite funny at times, really tense and exciting. I had a really great time with them, so I do recommend those. Also really enjoyed The Trading Game by Gareth Stevenson, a non-fiction book, but a really excellent one. Really interesting kind of memoir of Gary Stevenson's life as a trader and his views on the economy and how wealth inequality is damaging society. Next question, any 1-star books or least favourite book of the year? So this one is going to be unpopular because every time I say I didn't like this book, people tell me off in the comments. Not tell me off. People express their own opinions on this book. Loads of people love this book. I did not enjoy it at all. That book is The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. It just didn't work for me for some reason. I just couldn't connect with the story or the characters or the writing. It just felt like there was some kind of invisible barrier between me and my enjoyment of the book. I really can't explain it, but that's my answer for that question. Most read genre so far this year, as is usually the case for me, it's kind of a toss-up between crime and horror. I think they're about level pegging. Really enjoying, my two favourite genres. I really enjoy both of them. I'm probably reading more new horror and more older crime, if that makes sense. But yeah, really enjoying, really continuing to enjoy both of those genres. Next question, a book that surprised you. So for this one, I was looking back through what I read this year, and the one that really surprised me was Maynard's House by Herman Rorcher. So I read this, I did a buddy read of this with Kelsey from Slime and Slashes and Andrew from It Came From The Page, and we did a live stream about it. I just thought this was a great book. So 70s horror novel, kind of a paperback from hell. And I always expect with books like that they're going to be a bit cheesy, maybe a bit silly. This was just a great book, really thoughtful, really interesting, really unsettling at times. So a book about a guy who's returned from the Vietnam War. He's inherited this this cabin in the kind of countryside near a small town, but kind of out of the town. He's inherited it from one of his buddies who died in Vietnam, and it's about him like going to that cabin and loads of weird goings on there. But just a really, really effective book and a really thoughtful book about the impact of war on on soldiers, on people who get conscripted and who have to take part in wars. I thought it was a really excellent book. Okay, next question. A book that's come out in 2024 already that you want to read but haven't yet. I couldn't think of one that's come out already that I haven't yet read. I'm not someone, as you'll know if you watch the channel, who really keeps pace or keeps up to date with all the new releases and things like that. The one I know is coming soon, I think it's coming out in the next month, is the new Stephen King book, which I think is called Things Get Darker, which is a short story collection. I always enjoy his short story collection, so looking forward to that. And I am slowly working my way through all the Stephen King books that I haven't yet read, so that will be one that will be going on the list. Okay, next question. One goal you've made that you're succeeding at. So I feel like I'm doing pretty well with my goals so far this year. So I've got a number of kind of ongoing projects. So I've got the Disturbing Books project, which has been ongoing for like 18 months now, which is very close to finishing. There's 2 more books that were on my list to read for it. And I kind of thought about reading first one and then the other of them the other day and really didn't fancy them. So I might actually declare that I've finished my Disturbing Books project and make my final kind of wrap-up video for that. I haven't decided yet. I might give those 2 books one last try. So yeah, that one's going well. The Stephen King reading project is going well. So I've finished reading the Dark Tower series. I have a few more things to read by him, like half a dozen or so, but that feels like it's going well. The Patricia Highsmith project going really well, reading one of those a month. So yeah, everything feels like it's ticking over, and I'm not smashing any of them, but equally I'm where I need to be. I'm where I want to be with all of them. I suppose the one thing that I am starting to struggle a little bit with is my Read What You Own challenge. So I did a Read What You Own challenge, which I started at the end of last year and completed in January. I'm now doing another one, and it's not so much that there are any books out there that I really want to go out and get. I've given myself a load of caveats second time around that mean I can get things for group reads and buddy reads and things like that. But the other day I was just thinking it'd be really nice just to wander around some charity shops and see if I find any books. So I'm on book 30. I'm reading book 30 for that at the moment. So I've got a long way to go. I've got another 70 books to go. I either need to pick up the pace on it a bit or knock it on the head, which is not inconceivable. I do feel like I could do that, given that I have already done one. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where I get to with that. So yeah, that's the one goal I maybe need to focus on. I maybe need to give a bit of thought to. The final question then is, new to you, booktubers, bookstagrammers or booktokers for 2024 you recommend? I'm going to be completely honest, and Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf gave the same answer, I think, when she did this. I've been neglecting BookTube a bit recently, or at least maybe not neglecting it, but being a bit lazy with it and going back to like old reliable channels, if you like, that I've been following for a year or more, and know I'm going to enjoy. I feel like I've got a bit more time pressure in my life at the moment because of things that are happening at work and that kind of stuff. So I probably got a bit less time for watching YouTube than I have had previously. So I do need to make an effort to get out there and discover some new, try some of the newer channels that are out there, and see if I like them. So if you've got any recommendations for new BookTube channels, do leave them in the description below, in the comments below, and I'll check some of them out. Anyway, that's my answers to the questions. This isn't one of those tags that you tag other people on, because it's kind of a time dependent one, if that makes sense. So I'll leave it there, but do let me know your favourite book of the year so far, and your least favourite in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're safe and well out there. I hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.